Last time, on What If Trunks went back in time to save the Saiyans. After the defeat of Frieza, his brother Cooler swore to get revenge and take over Planet Vegeta. Although Trunks clashed heads with King Vegeta, he returned to the planet to save it from the evil Cooler. And as the battles raged on, it seemed like the Saiyans were going to win, thanks to the strength of the young Broly. But Cooler revealed something horrific to the young child: the death and betrayal of his father. Now Broly has unlocked Super Saiyan and rampages against his own people. How will they stop the most powerful Super Saiyan? The war ends now. Hope to the end. What if Trunks went back in time to save the Saiyans? Part 5. Broly's rage explodes as his green aura fractures into multiple ki bullets. The incoming blasts destroy nearby villages as the various factions run for their lives. Bardock is barely able to push Raditz out of the way of an incoming attack, but Nappa and the King aren't so lucky. In an instant, they are both incinerated, as all that remains are ashes. Despite their injuries, Bardock and Trunks stand back up. Bardock tells Trunks to leave the kid to him. As Trunks nods, he'll deal with Cooler. The pair smile as they burst once more into Super Saiyan 2, fist bumping each other as they raise their ki, launching towards their opponents. Granola rises from the ashes, unwilling to allow his friends to fight alone. At this time, Prince Vegeta stands back up, unwilling to let Bardock and Trunks take the glory for themselves. He will be the one to defeat Broly. It will be the mighty Prince Vegeta that proves himself to be the greatest Super Saiyan in history. Both young warriors head off to face their destinies. As Bardock and Prince Vegeta attempt to stop Brolys Rampage, Trunks and Granola face off against Cooler. Granola attempts to fire pot shots at Cooler's vital points again, but the Emperor sees it coming, defending himself from the attacks as he fires multiple death beams his way. Granola attempts to evade the attacks, even flying out of the way, but the death beams chase him down and crash against his back. Trunks yells out a sorrowful no, his rage releasing once more. As he drops his sword and his eyes go white, the rageful Super Saiyan slams his fist against Cooler, each blow breaking something in turn. The combo ends in a powerful punch to the face, a blow so strong it shatters Cooler's face guard. The Emperor fires eye beams directly at Trunks' face, wrapping his tail once more around his neck, with an intent of breaking it. Suddenly, Granola yells at the top of his lungs as he brandishes Trunks' sword. Cooler's eyes widened. In one fell swoop, his tail is cleanly cut in two. At the same time, Vegeta and Bardock use every last ounce of their strength to fight back against Broly. They combine their Raya Javelin with a Gallic gun, the energy beams swirling together and striking Broly head on. Unfortunately, the blast only served to anger Broly. His rage and power climb, with seemingly no end in sight. They needed a plan, but how could they distract Broly? Bardock looks over to the tailless Cooler as an idea pops into his head. He yells at the prince to follow his lead as he charges towards Cooler. The pair of Super Saiyans are about to collide into the Emperor, but at the last possible moment, they separate. Broly, who had been chasing after them, crashes into the shocked Cooler as the Saiyan wails on the Emperor. The Super Saiyans descend down into the remaining of the War Stone, panting and exhausted. As Monaito runs to heal them, Trunks asks what they can possibly do about Broly. If he continues to rampage like this, Planet Vegeta is done for. Bardock thinks for a moment and brings up an idea. Perhaps they did have a power beyond Super Saiyan. Bardock recalls the legend of a Super Saiyan God. He had brushed off the legend as a fairy tale, but if the Super Saiyan was real, then perhaps the Super Saiyan God was as well. Gine isn't sure if they can count on a legend like that, but she trusted her husband. Monaito quickly goes through his bag and takes out 2 Dragon Balls. Bardock nods at him, thanking him for saving them. They summon the dragon, and this catches Cooler's attention, who quickly tries to get away from Broly and approach it. They don't have much time left, and they ask the dragon to bring forth the God of Legend, but there's no such thing. It seems like all hope is lost, but the dragon continues. If 5 Saiyans pour their hopes and power into another, only then will the God power be brought into existence. Cooler reaches the dragon just as it disappears. He curses and begins to attack the team, but the Heaters stand in front, telling Bardock and the others to hurry it up and get it over with. They will hold him back and lead him back to Broly.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying the video thus far. If you like this sort of content and want to see more and support the channel, then consider becoming a Patreon. There, you can help support the channel through various tiers while getting some perks of your own. As a Patreon, you will help get the videos out faster, fun thumbnail art, editing, and even writing for videos. Overall, this is the best way we can ensure to keep providing you guys with awesome content. Plus, you get some neat perks like a bonus mini podcast, early access to videos such as this one, and more. So be sure to go to patreon.com/SmugStick and consider supporting the channel. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Become a Patreon!
And now back to our show.
Gine, Bardock, Raditz, and Vegeta gather around Trunks as they pour their ki into him. Trunks feels a wave of energy flowing throughout, but he doesn't feel any different. Bardock smacks his head. He forgot they need a pure-hearted Saiyans for the ritual, and the 6th Saiyan as well. Vegeta scoffs. What a ridiculous setup for a legendary transformation. However, the Saiyans notice up above that Cooler was on his last leg, as the Heaters, who were extremely hurt, finally led him back to Broly. He was about to be defeated. Vegeta and Raditz burst into Super Saiyan, telling everyone they will buy some more time as they head towards Broly. As Bardock and Gine scrabble to find another pure-hearted Saiyan, Trunks smiles brightly. Walking towards them was none other than Bardock's squad mates. They had survived after all. After receiving a short explanation, the squad was more than happy to help. And so, Bardock, Tora, Fasha, Shugesh, and Borgos gather around Trunks. They hold hands as they flare into Super Saiyans, their golden aura enveloping Trunks. As he closes his eyes, Gine watches on in amazement as a burning red tone surrounds Trunks, his eyes and hair turning bright crimson. In his heart, he thanks the Dragon Balls. Trunks could feel it. He knew it now. He had become the Super Saiyan God of legend. As Raditz, Vegeta, and Cooler are about to get vaporized, Broly notices a flickering flame appear in front of him. Trunks arrives in his brand new form, astonishing Vegeta and Raditz while enraging Cooler. Being saved by a Saiyan, he'd rather die. Trunks tells Broly calmly to rest. He doesn't have to let out his anger anymore. Broly roars and charges at Trunks, but each attack is effortlessly countered and dodged. Trunks thinks to himself that even if this new power was amazing, it still wasn't nearly as impressive as Broly. If he was older and received more training, just how far could he go? Trunks pulls out his sword, ready to end the madness. His sword glistens off the glare of Trunks' aura as a crimson glow surrounds the blade. Trunks concentrates his energy as various chains erupt from the sword, restraining Broly. As Broly thrashes around violently, Trunks attempts to calm Broly once more. It's over, Broly. The war is done. Look around. No one's fighting anymore except for you. I'm sorry about your father and what the king did to you. I lost my father as well. I know what it's like to have your loved ones ripped away from you, but you don't have to succumb to the rage. You don't have to let it control you. Please, Broly, I want to be your friend. Let me help you. You're not alone. Broly's eyes fixate on Trunks, staring into his fiery yet tranquil energy. It was almost as if their spirits were connected, and Broly could understand everything Trunks was saying as true. The sadness, the rage, the fear, the doubt, and the hope. All of it were there for Broly to see. With the effect of the God Bind in place, Broly was finally able to calm down and return to his normal self. Broly nearly collapsed, but Trunks managed to catch him. Raditz asks out loud if this means it's over. However, as he says this, the Saiyan feels an intense heat slowly rising from above. Trunks and the rest of the survivors turn their heads towards the sky to see Cooler holding up an enormous supernova. Cooler laughs maniacally. He refused to be beaten by a bunch of monkeys. In the palm of his hand was all his power, a force capable of wiping out entire galaxies. Cooler declares that the Saiyan race shall be exterminated, and he launched the supernova. As the remaining soldiers of every army scramble in a feeble attempt to save their lives, Trunks looks up at the incoming supernova with a distinct feeling of calmness. He knew he could stop this, no problem. He asks Raditz to hold on to Broly as he pulls out his sword one last time. He takes a deep breath, and in a single motion, he slices the supernova in half. Rather than exploding, the massive ki ball turns bright red before dissipating into a brilliant crimson sparkle. For the first time in his life, Cooler feels immense fear. Every instinct in his body tells him to run away and never come back. Yet, before he even has a chance to retreat, Trunks appears above him with a sword overhead.
Cooler! Wait, no!
In a single slash, Cooler is cut down the middle, followed by a series of consecutive spectacular slices. Trunks points out his palm, blasting away the remains of Cooler. It was done. Finally, the war was over. As Trunks looked around, he saw the immense amount of destruction surrounding him. The castle was destroyed, the village decimated, and the ground beneath them crashed beyond belief. Yet, Planet Vegeta still stood. Trunks approaches the Saiyans as everyone cheers for him, thanking their saviors for saving them once again. The Galactic Patrol and Monaito were doing their best to treat the injured, with the Elder Namekian nearly collapsing from exhaustion. But he was glad to have helped. The Galactic Patrol thanks Trunks for his assistance, but Trunks shakes his head. He should be thanking them for saving so many people. As the Galactic Patrol arrests the rest of Cooler's army, one of the senior agents eyes the Saiyans. Should they be arrested too? The Galactic King is called, as Trunks requests the patrol not to arrest the Saiyans. Not all of them have hurt anyone, and they can still change. The Galactic King agrees, but under one condition: the Saiyans would be constantly supervised to make sure they don't invade any new planets out there. Perhaps Agent Miras could be assigned to Planet Vegeta once he returns from his far-off mission. Trunks thanks the king profusely for his generosity, but the king reminds him that he saved the universe from the Cold Clan. It's the least they can do. As the Galactic Patrol leaves, the Saiyan begin their long road of recovery. Reconstruction efforts were tough, but relatively quick. The entire Saiyan race was united and eager to rebuild their lives. With King Vegeta dead, it was expected for Prince Vegeta to take his father's place as a ruler. However, the prince surprised everyone by declaring that he had no intention to rule. Not yet, at least. Not when there were other Saiyans more powerful than himself. He would go out into the universe and train so that one day he could be strong enough to reclaim the throne. And with that, Vegeta blasted off into space, as Raditz followed close behind. Trunks was asked by many to be their new king, but he politely declined. He wasn't going to stay there forever. As a result, it was decided that Bardock, as the greatest Saiyan of his generation, would be the king. Bardock wasn't fond of this new sudden promotion. He thought being a king was such a drag. However, he also knew there was no one else better fit for the job. Besides, with Gine there to support him, he thought the job wouldn't be too bad. On the day of Bardock's coronation, the Saiyans gather around Gine's rebuilt butcher shop. Bardock refused to live in a gaudy castle, insisting that the funds be used in reconstruction efforts instead. Bardock announces his first declaration as a king to be that, with the Cold Clan and the late King Vegeta gone, it was time for a new era of the Saiyans to begin. The Saiyans would no longer conquer planets. Instead, they would assist the Galactic Patrol in keeping peace across the galaxy. Agent Miras walked up to King Bardock and shook his hand, eager to start this new relationship and hopeful that it would last for generations to come. In the crowd, Oiled and Maki cheer as they stand wearing new uniforms after being pardoned for their crimes. The remaining heaters decided to join the Galactic Patrol after hearing how they offered pretty good salary and benefits. The Saiyan caste system was abolished, and along with the announcement of their deal with the Galactic Patrol, many Saiyan elites and warriors were discontent with the new society. However, any rumblings of a rebellion were quickly dashed by King Bardock, as King Bardock made it clear that anyone who was unhappy with his decision should take him up in a fight. Any attempts to overthrow the king were quickly thwarted by Granola, who stayed on Planet Vegeta with Monaito as he became King Bardock's apprentice. Monaito and himself had wished for Planet Cereal to be brought back, but decided to stay there. In a way, Monaito took on the role of Kami while on Planet Vegeta, with Planet Vegeta having their own set of Dragon Balls. And, well, Broly, he lived with Bardock and Gine. Although he would train to control his power and anger, he didn't want to fight, and Bardock was fine with that. It seemed like he was much more interested in baking treats with Gine, that he was quite a powerful opponent, and always talked about being eager to fight Kakarot once he was old enough. Soon, the Saiyans started to change. Their reputation as cold-blooded murderers were slowly shifting into that of peacekeepers who would fight for those who couldn't defend themselves. And soon, King Bardock declared that Planet Vegeta would be renamed to the new planet Sadala, the name of their original home planet. The crowds erupted into applause, and soon after, many Saiyans from different walks of life could party, laugh, and enjoy themselves. Trunks was delighted to see how far they had all come. He thinks back to his first time arriving on the planet and how dreary and oppressive the atmosphere was. Now, people were smiling and bright colors were everywhere. The streets were alive. It was time. Trunks could feel it. He couldn't stay there anymore. He had to go home. Later that night, Trunks headed over to the outskirts of the village. This was the same place his time machine had landed when he first arrived. It was only fitting it'd be where he left. However, he hears the voice of someone familiar calling out out to him.
Hey Trunks, you can't expect to leave without saying anything, right?
Trunks turned around to see Bardock along with Gine, Little Kakarot, Broly, Granola, Monaito, Oil, and Maki. Trunks was embarrassed that he got caught, but nonetheless glad to see them one last time. Sorry, I didn't want to bother anyone at the festival.
Damn kid, even though you're the almighty Super Saiyan God, you still don't have a clue about how people think, huh?
Trunks laughs as his friends say goodbye. Oil and Maki are surprisingly emotional, thanking Trunks for saving them back on Planet Cereal and changing their lives. Monaito expressed his gratitude for saving his and Granola's. He was a hero through and through. More than that, he was eternally grateful for keeping his promise and staying friends with Granola. It means more to him than he could ever imagine. Gine hugs Trunks tearfully, thanking him for giving her family a better future. If he ever gets lonely, he's welcome to come back to their home. Broly mutters a quiet "thank you" as he tugs onto Gine's leg. Bardock extends his hand out to Trunks, smiling. They shake hands as both men look at each other fondly. Thank you for reaching out to me when you did. You changed my life, all of you. I'll never be able to repay you for what you've done for me.
Hey, that's my line. It's no exaggeration to say that you saved the entire Saiyan race time and time again. You helped us all learn to achieve Super Saiyan, carved a new path. You're my friend, Trunks, and a man I respect. Whatever it is you face, I know you'll take care of it with no problem. Safe travels. I hope we meet again.
Finally, all that was left was Granola. The young boy was crying profusely, asking Trunks if he really had to go. He bends down and puts his hand on Granola's shoulder. Even if we're apart, that doesn't mean we won't see each other again. No matter where we are, we'll always stay connected. The memories we share bind us together. My old master once told me that long ago. And it's true. If I close my eyes and listen to my heart, I can see him. I'm sure I'll work for you too. Besides, I've got a little gift for you. Here, it's my sword. This sword means a lot to me. Promise that you'll give it back to me one day, when you become a great hero. Oh, and keep an eye on Earth for me while you're at it. I feel they might need a hero sooner rather than later. Through his tears, Granola smiles, and he grips onto the hilt of the sword. He promised to become a hero he could be proud of. Trunks gets into the time machine, and as it ascends, he looks back at his friends, waving goodbye, focusing in on the cheerful faces they had, until landing on Little Kakarot. It looks like I did it, Mom. I saved Goku. I think I understand what you meant back then, when I asked you why Goku was so important. Just by being with his family, I felt so much hope, like I knew everything will turn out okay. They'll be alright. I believe in them. In a flash, the time machine disappears. We now return to the future timeline as 17 and 18 were in the middle of attacking a group of survivors. Just as they're about to blast them away, Trunks appears in front of them with a piercing glare. It's over, androids. I'm here to stop you once and for all. Oh, is that right? You may have a little bit more muscle than before, but do you really think you can do anything to us? Trunks closes his eyes as the camera zooms in on his face. He takes a deep breath. His eyes bolt open, revealing a bright crimson color. I don't know. Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. This episode was written by Professor Chimp. Thank you for your help again. And the thumbnail was done by Brandon_edits. Be sure to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss the best Dragon Ball stories out there. This video wouldn't have been possible without you Patreons. So thanks to all of you. And remember, you get to watch videos like this early if you join the 3rd tier. So, shout out to you guys. Zachary Carlock, Mika Liley, 3 Kaiser, Ricardo Rodriguez, Shane K, JP Law, Angel MR, True Lightning Striker, Squad 100, Ghost 1571, PJ 90 the 3rd, Lee Urquides, Daddy Bear 103, Orange Bag YT, Trent Rolls, Demon Plays 22, Jim G, Jerome Foster, D Miles, The Gaming Galaxy, Dakota Kaiser, Salil Paranjape, Keith Grimes, Celestia, Dreadpool, and Samuel Randall. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and until we meet again. See ya!